It's the Brain and Moham Show. It's the Brain and Moham Show. Brain and Moham Show. It's the Brain and Moham
Show. I just want to tell you how I feel. And I want you to tell me that it's real. Baby, goddamn, just hold my hand. From what I understand, it feels like the world is gonna end any day now.
What's going on? This is the Brain and Moham Show. I am Mohammed El-Darwish.
And I am Brain and Moham.
And we have today with us Mr. Josh Reno.
Good afternoon.
Yes. So I want to get started and ask you fellas, what are your initial thoughts on these election results and what's happened up until now? Brain.
I was pretty excited about it, and I know Biden's been signing a lot of executive things, although I don't know exactly what all of them are, because as you know, I don't follow as much as I should. But I'm very hopeful for the future, and I read this thing that these people think Trump is going to be inaugurated or whatever on March 4th. That's the date. They were like, "Yep, he's going to be."
Is that the following conspiracy theory?
Yeah, and I was reading up on this theory, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" But I'm hopeful that Biden's here.
Yeah. How about you, Josh? What do you think?
Yeah, well, I'm the lone liberal in my extended family. So, basically interacting with them on social media, it's kind of like a lot of the rhetoric has slowed down, and there seems to be kind of this effort to see eye to eye. And I don't know.
Temperature's actually been turned down a bit. I feel that too.
That's how I feel, at least within my family and other people that I interact with. Now, it hasn't really been spoken about in person. I feel like people are still are kind of quiet and just seeing how things play out. But for me, it's much more of a conversation people are having rather than the intensity of what was happening before.
That's really cool. Yeah.
I'm also very excited about not seeing things about Trump's tweets all the time.
Yeah.
Trump tweet storm. Bleh.
Yeah, he's permanently banned as far as I know.
I know. It's
pretty
awesome.
Amazing. So the word is that he's getting his words out through surrogates, but it's not really having the same impact as it used to. The temperature appears to have been turned down a bit in the country, just a bit, but I'm pretty sure that Sauron is still alive. He's just hiding. He's just
Sauron,
that's
Lord
Trump.
of the Rings.
Yeah, that's motherfucking Trump is Sauron. So here's the thing: Trump absolutely, in my opinion, can come back and win, because this country is just so effed.
Right.
But it's a very, very unlikely situation. What would need to happen, in my opinion, is the Democrats would need to fail to get anything done.
Exactly.
That would cause a lot of people to say, you know what, we've tried it. We've tried the democracy, and it's time for an autocrat because we want to get something done, and we're sick of it not getting anything done. Especially at a time when people's lives are in the balance in this COVID response. It's such a critical time right now with this coming COVID response bill needs to pass. Otherwise, people are going to get really disillusioned.
Yeah.
Because this is what they voted for. So.
Well, I feel like the constant threat of Trump, being used by Republicans, if
it's driving enthusiasm on the Democratic side a ton. A ton, not even a little bit.
If he doesn't get impeached again or barred from running again, then I think throughout the term Biden serves, and between them working together, it's going to be a threat that, hey, we don't have to work with you, we don't have to help you. And we know that, once the American people are disappointed, they're going to be looking for him to come back. So,
yeah, and it's pretty obvious that the strategy for the Republicans would be to obfuscate and sort of block any progress and try to do that however they can so that they can point and say, hey, look, they can't do anything for you. Try us again. Forget about that thing that happened on the 6th. What do you think about the thing that happened on the 6th, by the way? Brain, let's start with you.
Yeah, it upset me a lot. I remember looking at the pictures and reading the things, and I'm like, what are these people doing? What, like, it was an invasion of our nation by citizens of our nation, and it upset me. That's about all I have to say.
Yeah. So it turns out that something like 14% of those people were ex-military, a higher rate than the normal civilian to military rate.
That,
yes,
yeah.
and also there was a significant portion of the people that rioted that did not vote, one way or the other. That simply were Trump supporters that did not vote that showed up there. I also heard about these people called the Oath Keepers, who are ex-military. They're an actual rogue military unit that have a lot of experience, tactical experience, and gear. They showed up in military gear, Oath Keepers.
Oath Keepers.
Yeah, they showed up in military gear to perform a pretty tactical assassination attempt, in my opinion. Very frightening stuff.
On one specific person or
On the
multiple
Democratic Party, and I think it was mostly Pelosi.
people? Right.
Yeah. But they failed,
Right.
thank
Didn't
goodness.
somebody steal her laptop
Yeah.
from her?
They knew they knew everything. You know, it's funny. Jim Clyburn, one of the top Democrats in the House, has an office that's apparently very hard to find, and he said that they went right to it. They knew exactly where he was. They knew it was him. They knew it was his office, even though it was really, really quite, even for people that know their way around the place, hard to find. It's
like
hidden.
a labyrinth.
It's a hidden.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's where he does most of his work. And he was like, how the hell did they know I'm here? Like it's really kind of something was up.
It was like they had inside information.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's some Congress people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert that I think the word is that they might have been relaying information, you know, one way or the other. Like Lauren Boebert and some of these people were talking about where Speaker Pelosi was during the attack. They also might have given tours to some of those people that were involved, and some
Like,
they say
previously?
reconnaissance. Yeah, when you're not supposed to give tours because of COVID, but they kind of gave some something like that,
and
some
that's
information.
how they knew
yeah.
their way around.
There's some speak of that, you know.
And they seem to me the type of people that, you know, they say that they speak for the people, but they act for themselves. You
Right.
know,
Lauren Boebert is under investigation for fraud. That was a just breaking news earlier today.
The power grab type, you know, like a Josh Hawley type. You know, these new representatives are very dangerous in that sense because, you know, once you have someone who you give them power and then the ability to act for themselves, they don't have the integrity to uphold, you know, their oath to the American people, and it's a scary thing.
Yeah, and of course, all of this needs to be substantiated. You know, that when I say there's talk of these people might have been involved in the insurrection, that's a frightening thought. I hope it's not true.
Yeah.
But it needs to be substantiated through the reporting, and I personally hope it's not true, because it's a very frightening thought. So the thing about the Trump impeachment is he was already impeached a second time. So he has officially become the biggest holder of impeachments. He's had there's only been 4 impeachments in history.
The most impeached.
Yes, he is the most impeached, most distinguished impeachment. So he has 2 impeachments to his name. There's only 4 in American history. He has half of the impeachments in American history, twice as many as the next leading one. The problem is that he's not expected to be convicted by the Senate. There's too many Republicans in the Senate that have shown that they don't think that they already said that they think it's unconstitutional because he's not president anymore.
And it's strange. It kind of like feels like it lessens the weight of impeachment. You know, it is almost not taken seriously. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I take it seriously, but you know, it feels like, it's just like, oh yeah, that's Trump. Like, we'll give him another impeachment.
He's not
fine.
president
Little
anymore.
slap
Forget
on
about
the
it.
You know,
knuckles.
but that's the problem is, like, you know, we've been conditioned to his rotten behavior,
Outrageousness.
and
like
so
complete
it just
privilege.
feels like,
Such
okay,
privilege.
like almost like procedural, you know.
Well, I mean, the thing I think it's impossible to get as many Republicans as we need. That's the problem. We need like 17, 2/3 of the Senate to convict. And why the hell would that party convict their previous president? It's a very intuitively bad for them. Why would they do something that's bad for them? You know, they see a path forward in the sense of they're waiting for the pendulum to swing back in their favor. I think they see a path forward with Trump again, and I'm worried because in a recent poll he runs away with it. He's a disgraced former president. His support has gone down, but he still has the lead in a theoretical primary matchup for 2024
That's
Republican
insane.
Candidates. Yeah, him and his son and Mike Pence
See, that's another thing. Is
are
you
the
got to
three
think about
top
this guy's family.
at the moment.
He's
Josh Hawley, for all that ass licking he did, is at 1%, polling at 1% still, even after all that fucking ass licking. He's a fucking loser, and he thinks he's gonna get pre-president because he's handsome or some shit. Nah, we all know that he's a fucking privileged loser.
Well, what do you think? What would you say in the next 4 years, Democrats like the top three things they would have to accomplish to win over some of these fringe Republican voters that kind of see what just happened and just occurred?
Yeah,
and there's a lot of change I feel that's going to happen in these next 4 years. But I'm just curious, like what you think, the actual acts, like the actual policy that needs to get passed that will win over some of these people.
Well, obviously, and this should be no surprise, they need to pass those $1,400 stimulus checks that they promised. They promised a balance of $200. That was before the $600 stimulus was passed. So that they're now saying, I mean, it's kind of a cop out. They said $2,000 check, but you know what? Let's just get something passed. In a way, it's almost like, here's our compromise. We went down from 2,000 to 1,400. Sorry, Republicans, you're not lowering it anymore. We already went down. We should be doing 2,000, but we're trying to be somewhat reasonable. So 1,400. Let's take the. You know what I mean? You gotta swallow a pill you don't like in politics to get something done. You always gotta swallow a pill. There's good effects and there's shit you don't like, but you gotta fucking swallow it.
Sometimes they're suppositories.
Yeah, but they need to pass that shit. When people get those checks, those $1,400 checks and that unemployment and everything, they will know that this is because we voted for Democrats. They will know. They knew that last year in 2020, they knew that they were suffering in part because of Trump's ineptitude. Deep down, everyone knew, even if they were trying to pretend oh no, it's really because of Fauci. He's making everyone go crazy about a fake virus. They really knew that it was there was ineptitude going on.
I think Trump's got all of Epstein's videos.
Well, is that why he wishes Ghislaine Maxwell well? He said he wishes her well.
Probably, yeah.
Do you know any of the particulars of the stimulus bill, though? Because I remember, there was talk about, all of this aid going to foreign countries, and a lot of people weren't really about that. And I know that's, America tries to be a humanitarian country in many senses.
Yeah, no. I can explain that very quickly. So they're passing no, hold on a second. The previous stimulus bill was an omnibus, which combined budgetary foreign policy spending as well as other things. So it really should be separated. It's really not a part of it. But if you want to argue against it, you can put them together and say, oh, it's sending money to. No, that was part of a spending of an omnibus spending bill, which is a huge thing. It's more than just the COVID response.
Yeah, and the American people need the stimulus, but as far as taking something to pick apart about it, and not really focusing on
it's a disingenuous attack
that
on
Democrats
it
are making.
Combine the bills that are not really related and say, oh, because the other bill does this, it's wasting money from this bill. No, that's not how it works. We give money to foreign countries for good reason, I believe. I'm not really sure exactly why, but I'm pretty sure there's a good reason. It's a vested interest that the U.S. has in those nations that gives us more in return usually. So I don't know.
I mean, if the whole world is doing good, that's better for everybody, including us, right?
Yeah.
So if we help people do better.
If you want to get more into the foreign policy stuff, I recommend a podcast called Pod Save the World. It's on YouTube. It's very good. Anyway, they get into the meat and bones of foreign policy like experts, and I'm not a foreign policy expert.
Meat.
So let's see here. Next up, I want to talk really quickly about that $1,400 stimulus checks. How do you think that'll affect you? A direct deposit of $1,400, let's say around March 15th. How will that affect you, Brain?
It'll help me make a mortgage payment that I couldn't make without it.
All right. And Josh?
I mean, for where I'm currently at with, the Massachusetts as far as, the regulations here, I've been working for quite some time, so I feel like I'm almost kind of back on schedule. I've been taking the proper precautions every day and just going to work and and been able to work, fortunately. And so for me, it's obviously like a nice bonus. So I'll take it and I'll stash it. You know, it's not something that it's almost like, oh yeah, I did my taxes and here's the money. Like, you know, just found money almost, you know?
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat where I don't really need it critically, but it's an incredible boost to what I plan to do in the future, which is it's gonna help me save for that. So I mean, it can't.
Which either way is good. Like
it's good for the economy
it's gonna help me make a mortgage payment right away. Like
the economy
is
does not
$1,200.
The economy overall does not benefit when you can't pay your mortgage.
Exactly.
The economy doesn't benefit when I can't eventually buy a house. The economy doesn't benefit when we go into poverty and we can't contribute tax money with our income.
Yeah, I'll be honest too. I mean, with the first 2 stimulus payments, like I definitely took liberties with it. Like I got some things like I wanted to get. Like I kind of
spurs the economy in an incredible way because it's happening within everyone
put it back
on Earth.
into the economy.
Yes.
I didn't, you know,
the
I was
pursuit of happiness.
Yeah, it was just like, oh man, like
it's
we're in this
part
pandemic.
Of the American
like,
dream, the pursuit of happiness.
This
pretty
shit
incredible,
sucks, dude. I need to fulfill some
happiness.
Some happiness, yeah. So
the pursuit of happiness. Yeah, you're entitled to that.
But
you don't have to feel bad about it.
Yeah, this one at this point, it's like it's the last one. Like I feel like banking it. You know, it's just one of those things. You can't expect it. I really wonder if people will come to expect this kind of thing regularly.
That is exactly what I was thinking too, because people
other
love
countries-
this.
Yeah.
They absolutely love this.
Well,
you know what?
there's
This
research
makes
that it
people-
works,
done
then
that,
it
though?
will.
Made it like a monthly payment.
Yep,
Just
yep.
Like Sweden.
It's not the first
or
time.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's not the first time this has ever been explored. It's kind of incredible. I mean, the thing that's funny to me is I think it's making people more buy into the whole American bullshit, the whole capitalist system. You know, it's socialism. You're giving people money. But when you give them money, it empowers them to be participants in a capitalist system that previously they were not able to participate in.
Exactly.
It's incredible like reverse psychology.
That's the kind of taps into the whole millennials are killing these companies, and it's like, well, if you paid us more fucking money, we could shop there, and then they wouldn't go under.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
We literally don't make enough money to keep the economy going. Give us more money.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, no, and it's true that wages haven't increased with the cost of living. They've been getting farther apart as we go. So
it's like 10
this
times
stimulus
lower
money is
than it
helping
should be.
helping
Come on.
correct that artificially. I believe that's correct. It's correcting itself, and we're seeing the economy go buku. Like the stock market's going crazy, crypto's going crazy.
Just
It's fucking
stop
GameStop.
buying things from Amazon. They have enough money. Shop elsewhere.
Well, okay. Well, that's funny you brought up Amazon. What do you think of Jeff Bezos stepping down from Amazon? Any thoughts at all?
Honestly, I think it's great because I read a little bit about it, and he's going to focus more on Blue Origin, which is his space company, which I think that needs to be done. I have friends that say the private sector shouldn't be doing this, but I believe that they have the equity
I like it too.
and the ability. Like
no,
they're
they
gonna
can
be
take the
ones-
risk. They can
Right,
take the risk for
right,
us.
Yeah. So Blue
and
Origin
for the government,
wants
which
to
doesn't
make-
want to take risks
he wants to
because
make
it's
a
bad
moon
for them
base.
politically. Yeah. So what do you think about that, Josh? The Jeff Bezos.
I mean,
thing?
I think it would have been a cool move if you like improve the conditions of his workers and their insurance, all the benefits. You know, it would have been nice if like, hey, you know, before we go to the moon, like,
Well,
maybe we
all
could take
these-
care of the people that are
On Earth?
are keeping this machine going. You know,
You are right. You
that's
are
how
right.
I feel about it. Like,
you are right, but who's
yeah.
this other CEO that's stepping in? I don't even know. I know
Jassy.
nothing about him.
His name is
Is
Jassy.
he gonna do anything? I feel like it's now his job to make people's lives.
He's been
especially
received positively
in
so
the
far
company,
from what I hear. I
Because
mean, he
hear
might have
a
been
lot
paid for
about
that, but who the fuck knows?
how bad conditions are for their fucking employees and shit. So hopefully he can.
Maybe he'll do a better job of
Maybe-
being a human being than
Right, exactly.
Jeff Bezos. Jeff
Right.
Bezos was
I
a
feel like-
jacked,
I feel like
bald
Bezos was
lizard
like-
person.
He was focused on going into
That's
space.
allegedly.
And just like was obsessed with the amount of money he was making, and he just like couldn't believe it. And now he's like, well, now I've got enough money to leave the solar system. So
Well, that's the thing is if that's
But
if
here's
that's
my
how much
point.
money you have,
Here's
then
my
it's
point.
drop in the bucket to just give your employees, what they need in order to.
I think it would spur an incredible amount of
the productivity.
Yeah, it would spur productivity, but it would also be an incredibly good PR story that causes a influx of goodwill.
There's so much more to this.
Yeah,
because there's so much more good and bad. So one night, what I saw, being so pissed, what I saw the good of is, even though, so everybody shops on Amazon. They fucking love it. And he got richer and richer and richer and richer. But the thing is, the whole world gave this guy money, and now he's going to use that money to bring humanity, like humanity funded humanity leaving the solar system. The way he did it was fucked up because, yes, help the people on Earth. Why not do that? You have enough money to do that. So, like, there's the good and the bad, the yin and the yang. Like, the whole world funded us leaving the planet.
So when I try to think through that, too, like, if I was Jeff Bezos and I had that money, right, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm doing this space thing. There's so much more you could do
for the planet.
Right. So
that's what I'm saying. That's the bad part.
If he wasn't going to do that, if he's investing, it makes me think, like, well, maybe this dude knows something. Like, maybe this richest man on Earth just has some information that he has access to that makes him say, this is the smartest thing to invest in.
Here's another point, Josh, is why the fuck do you think all of the richest people on the planet are building spaceships to take us to Mars?
That is a very curious thing that I was just thinking of. Hold on a second.
Why are the richest people on the planet trying to leave the planet?
Yeah, no, exactly. Why is this happening? Good question. Very good question. And you know what? It does seem like that would naturally be something that naturally we should be
and there's
expecting. The future should hold us exploring space more. Of course.
There's a space plan that was made in like the 40s or 50s where we should already have a moon base, and this was all supposed to be like NASA. But NASA, everybody lost interest after the 7th moon landing. They were like, whatever, it's just the moon. Blah. Y'all didn't see that, but it was funny.
Oh my god. Okay, so hold on a second here.
But now the private sector is taking over
Tesla
space travel.
and fucking Amazon are going to space.
Yeah, we've got SpaceX.
Blue Solar, or whatever the hell it's called.
Blue Origin.
That's
not much
fascinating. There is something going on with this whole space exploration thing with private citizens and companies doing a space thing.
Here's the biggest thing: it's a moneymaker. They're going to mine asteroids for raw, rare materials.
I've heard of that.
They've already done it.
Yeah. Because once it's established, I think it's like they've said something. It's supposed to be way more profitable to do it that way. Like once you have an established.
Okay, so once you have a moon base, there's on the caps of the moon. They found frozen water, which is what rocket fuel is made out of, hydrogen and oxygen. And the moon has a far less gravitational pull. So if you can build a moon base and then build a rocket ship on the moon and then fuel it, it takes so much less fuel to get it off the planet. It's so much cheaper. Or off the moon.
Y'all notice how good shit got as soon as Biden won. Anyway, everything is awesome all of a sudden. So anyway, no, I'm just kidding, you guys. Hey, is there anybody that disagrees with us that listens? I'm not sure. Anyway, but if you do, hey, you're fucking cool.
If they disagree, why would they listen?
No, you know what? I do listen to some shit I disagree with sometimes. There's probably some people that hate listen to this show. Just a handful.
You're right.
Yeah.
Because you got to listen to the other side.
You know what? We're pretty reasonable.
I watch Fox News on purpose sometimes because I got to see what they're seeing.
What's funny though is people who listen to this podcast often tell me that I'm more reasonable than Brain. But in social media in real life, people tell me that I'm
hilarious.
People tell me that Brain is more reasonable than me. Because in real life, I'm way more fucking crazy.
Yeah, I would say you're
on
both
the podcast,
unreasonable.
I'm less reasonable. You see me as less reasonable?
Yo, I'm about to blow some people's minds right now. I'm willing to give up on the gun issue. How about you get all the guns you want, and we just hope that school shootings don't happen? How about we do that in return for healthcare and green energy?
Wait. Are you like super gun control?
I would prefer a sensible gun control that Barack Obama proposed. What I'm talking is a ban on assault weapons, high capacity magazines, and universal background checks for all gun purchases with no gun show loophole, so that you can just walk in. Private sales are fine, but we just want to discourage the easy legal buying for psychos of weapons that can kill many people at once.
The mental health thing,
Yeah.
I think that evaluation, that was a good thing that Obama passed, but I changed my stance on gun control.
As fuck.
I used to be very much like, I hated guns. I hated the idea of guns. I realized, the violence that they can really, breed. And it's like, but now I see things unfolding in the world, and I've kind of, grown up a bit to realize, like, hey, like, they're here, they're not going anywhere. So
there's something special about cherishing.
You need the ability
right
to protect yourself.
Guns aren't going to go away whether or not you have one.
And you need the ability to protect yourself with things that may occur. You need to be prepared.
Right. No. So what you're talking about, what I'm gonna mention is people feel a very profound love and cherishment for their right to bear arms because they're like, this is super important to me. They want to be able to protect themselves with a gun if they choose. And that's fine with me. So fuck it. I want sensible gun control, but I'm willing to compromise in certain places, right?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that convinced me, I got to be honest, was even over watching the riots, as they say, but the protests really.
Well, they brought a lot of different stuff
and
there.
And you seen over the summer, right? The protests, George Floyd protests. There's riot gear policemen. Set up and a bunch of innocent civilians. And it's like, you see what they come to the table with, and it's hard to feel like, oh, okay, well, what if all of these, the entire ability to defend myself was taken away? Like, I'm completely at a disadvantage, to begin with. Like, I guess I won't defend myself. I'll just submit. That's the feeling I kind of got. It's like, we attempted this peaceful protest and we got our faces pushed into the mud.
So there's an area where I have recently become more willing to compromise because I see how important it is to them. And I think to myself, if it was that important to me and it's not hurting anybody, which usually it doesn't, people having guns usually doesn't hurt anybody. The problem is that we want less. We want to make it so that there's less psychotic people have easy access. And I mean,
that's the biggest thing to me.
Yeah. It's just like, how do we do that without looking like we're trying to take your guns? We're not. I don't want your fucking guns, okay?
I've explained this to so many people at bars. Obama wants to take our guns.
Yeah, no,
and
that's some bullshit.
No, he doesn't want to take your gun.
Or if he
just
did,
doesn't want crazy
why?
people to have a gun.
Why would he want to do that?
Yeah.
Why? Well, no, they thought that there's some conspiracy
Barack Obama,
theory.
I came to your house. Yes. Give me your gun.
Yeah. There's a conspiracy theory that they're trying to do martial law, but that was already didn't happen in the past. They thought that they were going to take over the country with martial law the whole time that Obama was president, and it didn't happen.
Really?
They thought they were going to take the guns the whole time. Yeah, no, there was conspiracy theories running rampant. So this actually segues to our next topic. We need to move on to the next topic. Let's go ahead and talk really quickly about this Marjorie Taylor Greene. Brain, do you know who that is?
I may or may not. Oh, okay. I've read this name, but I don't know exactly who this person is. I've read about this person and things about them, but I don't know who they are.
Sweet. Well, what about you, Josh? What do you think about Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Well, I think she's yet another reason why we should fight for our right to bear arms, because you need to defend yourself from people like that.
Well, I'm sure she would agree with you.
Yeah, no, but that's my point. Like, she's a dangerous person. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and she can inspire a lot of people to be dangerous.
Can we fight for our right to party?
And so, like, it's something that makes me nervous. I saw an interview with her that she said, like, oh yeah, like, I don't care that I've been stripped of my committee responsibilities. Like, it gives me more time to talk to people.
Right, when you would think that she would care, because being on those committees is how you actually do stuff.
Well, I mean, I'm sure she does care, but she's, what she's going to do? She's going to
play the martyr.
She's going to try to.
Her and Trump are going to be like, look at us, they killed us. We're the Jesus Christ of fucking religion.
She's going to try to make the most of a bad situation for herself. And
Brain knows what I'm talking about. They're going to try to Jesus Christ this shit.
Yeah,
they're going to try to be like Donald Trump was the martyr.
I read something about how they want him to be a martyr president, but if he's a martyr, doesn't he have to, like, die?
No, what it means is that he'll run in 2024 as the person that got impeached twice and say, oh, they were unfair to me, and you should vote for me because it'll piss them off.
That's not the definition of a martyr.
No, I've already seen it. Like, they had his son on Fox News, Eric.
His son is 10 times dumber than him.
and they're just like,
everyone agrees with
your
you,
family,
even the people that love Trump.
Your whole family's dealing with this, all the criticism, everything, and it's like, It's like, why are you making these people out to be the martyrs? Oh, why should we feel bad for them? Like they can take care of themselves.
They're fine.
Yeah, like
pretty sure
fine.
they're doing fine.
Yeah.
And also they'll have a lot of legal troubles, but they probably will just absorb it all and just be fine. So fuck it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is liberals are so much not what people think. Like I'm so less. I wanted vengeance, but now that it's over, I'm fine with them just slinking off.
I just want reconciliation.
Just go ahead and leave.
I want there to be less of a divide.
You know what's really funny is when I still see Trump flags on the back of pickup trucks.
Like they haven't given up hope yet.
Yeah,
it still might happen. There's still a chance. Maybe the March 5th thing. What were we talking about?
It was March 4th.
March 4th.
These people think that America hasn't been a nation since 1871.
Oh yeah, and that we're a corporation because Ulysses S. Grant was the last president. Yeah, no, I've heard that.
Yeah, and they really believe this shit. And I'm like, I've never heard of this conspiracy theory, and so I was like reading into it. And I'm like, this is complete fucking insanity. They really think that Trump's going to be sworn in on March 4th. They really think that he's going to be the 18th president because there hasn't been a real president since the 17th president.
Can you imagine? If Trump was actually sworn in and Biden is just like, this is awkward.
Yeah, just think about what I just said. Like, it's complete fucking insanity. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, that's fucking fascinating. So there's another thing I wanted to talk about real quick, and that is, did you hear about what happened to AOC during the Capitol riots?
I have not heard exactly what happened to her.
She had a Facebook Live. I mean, I'm not a Facebook Live. Yeah, an Instagram Live. Josh, did you hear what happened with AOC?
Oh, a bit. I mean...
in the mic.
I've heard a bit of it, but...
yeah.
Go ahead. Like, can you explain?
You want me to refresh?
Yeah, refresh.
Yeah, okay. So she was on Instagram Live talking about how there was a bomb threat earlier that day. There was a bomb threat. They had to evacuate. Before?
I had no idea.
Yes, there was a bomb threat. So she went pretty far away to evacuate, and she had to walk all the way back from across Washington to her office. And when she got back to her office, almost immediately she heard a loud bang, bang, bang on her door. And she was scared like crapless from that because of all the crap going on. And so she answered the door very, very scared. It was a Capitol Police officer, and a bunch of other shit happened. I don't know what happened after that. But all I know is that eventually she found herself going to Congresswoman Katie Porter's office, Congresswoman Katie Porter from California was sitting there. She went in and started checking where she could hide. Everywhere she could hide. And Katie didn't even understand what's going on, and she's just like, can I help you? What's going on? And so they found out that, yes, we're under attack and blah, blah, blah. She's looking for a place to hide because they're coming for her. And she was thinking about her heels. She knew she shouldn't have wore heels.
Yeah.
Because she might have had to run for her life. So they finally decided she would stand behind the bathroom door. There was a bathroom in the office. That's where she decided to hide. Apparently the protesters actually got into the office, and they actually opened the door, and in fact they said they banged on the door, and they opened the door, and they said, "Where is she? Where is she?" She was standing right behind the door when they were screaming, "Where is she?"
Wow.
If you were a Democrat on that day in Washington D.C., you were not safe. And as far as AOC being one of the most recognizable Democrats in our country, and a young up and coming leader for the party, I think it's obvious that she, as long as she can continue to win re-election, she will be a leader in our party for at least, the foreseeable future.
Oh, did you see how bad she won that election, last election, the smackdown she put?
But that's the thing, though.
80% of the vote went to her.
It made her a target. And and you said earlier, a lot of ex-military, these people,
Oh, yeah. They're in some fucking trouble.
Well, they're intelligent people, man. These ex-military that have been incited by Trump. I mean, these are intelligent people as far as tactics, and they've been trained. And as far as she's concerned, if they need to search for her and find her, they can. They would. So for her fearing for her life, it's obvious to me that makes complete sense, because if you take her out, obviously she's been a big opponent of Trump. So, somebody who supports Trump may feel justified, say, hey, I got to go after AOC because she said this about my guy, but it's unfortunate, that even occurred.
You know what blows my mind more than almost anything? There's a woman who was killed trying to jump over a broken window into Speaker Pelosi's area, into the chamber, the speaker's chamber. She died. She got shot in the friggin' neck. Okay, But here's the thing: she voted for Obama, and she in 4 years went from voting for Obama and Biden to losing her life to stop Biden from becoming president again.
See, that's where the investigation needs to happen.
This is
into
the
the
power of
psychology, the
conspiracy theories.
sociology of this mob mentality.
This is the power of conspiracy theories. She was also in the military. She was a Marine or some shit. I really don't give a fuck. She's a piece of shit. She died. I mean, I'm very sad that she thought she needed to lose her life that day, but she was going to kill the fucking speaker, and we shouldn't be feeling too bad for her. I mean, geez, holy shit, man.
Well, I feel bad.
I feel bad that she doesn't get to rot in fucking jail.
No,
right.
I feel bad for the decisions. I don't know. It's the empathy I try to
Trump's
feel.
fucking fault.
There's nothing right about what happened.
Yeah.
But
Brain.
But it's
You remember that video we watched where Trump's like, so we're going to walk down to Pennsylvania Avenue? No shit. Boom, according to the media. Yeah. So that obviously showed that they incited the rally, the riot.
Yeah.
With all those words that they said, let's have trial by combat, blah, blah, blah. We're going to walk down. We're going to not be so nice to these people. We're going to be nice to those people.
Punch in a little clip of that.
Yeah, we might punch it in.
Yeah. But, I feel bad for kind of anybody that...
Yeah, those people are turning on Trump. The QAnon people have turned, half of them at least, have turned on Trump. They've said he's betrayed us. They were betrayed after the riot that he didn't take their side. He said something like, we don't condone this. These aren't our supporters. They never supported us to begin with. Yeah. Those people feel fucking betrayed, and they're ready to turn on Trump and say that he was the reason they did all that.
Which is, I remember reading all of that.
Yeah.
And I remember reading the whole, these aren't our supporters. They never were, and it's but okay, you can say that they're not your supporters, but they are your supporters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously they came in with Trump flags, and they said that
exactly.
It was a
there's
no
group
point
of
in getting
supporters.
into it.
You cannot say that they weren't your supporters.
Yeah, no, the guy that had the speaker's lectern had a Trump hat. I mean, everyone was there was obviously, there's no question. So
one of the weirdest things to me too on that day was that whole hang Mike Pence, and.
Yeah, I know. Mike Pence.
Have you ever have loyalty to somebody after
Mike Pence
like
did a lot for you.
A mob was like, yeah, hey,
Somebody was
buddy,
saying, hang
hey
Mike
guy,
Pence?
They all were saying hang.
we know
Mike
you're
Pence.
the right hand man, but we're gonna take you out. Dude, I don't know, man.
No,
that was wild to me.
They set up a noose. They set up an actual functional noose.
Yeah.
For Mike Pence?
Yeah, for Mike Pence and probably for Pelosi.
I feel like that's foreshadowing, like how Trump will sell out Pence. Once it comes down to it, he's going to take him down with him.
There's a couple things I'm fascinated with here, and I love this shit. We're running out of time. We need to really wrap this up in a second here. But two things. One, did you guys hear that Biden's initial approval ratings?
I
have not heard them.
Josh, have you heard them?
No.
All right, so recently he was approval rating 61% approval.
Overall?
Overall, to 39% disapproval.
Nice.
Trump never really broke 50% in his entire presidency. That's a really high approval rating.
It's because he's made of butt cheese.
Yeah.
Butt cheese.
So the other thing is that... actually, you know what? I kind of forgot the other thing. I think it was something about Trump. Fuck, I forgot.
He's ugly.
No, it wasn't
just
that.
say it's that.
It wasn't that.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
What do you think about Trump facing other legal ramifications?
Yeah,
as far
okay.
as,
Well, there's
as far as out of the
Are they
presidency,
going to be
like
charging him with other things?
business-wise,
Yeah.
or
the fact
or
that he
with his
funneled money into his own
from
organization.
the charity. You know, I feel like as time goes on, as the further we get away from the results of the election and the insurrection and all of this drama that happened, I feel as though, like you said, you know, people are jumping off that Trump train, and if enough people turn against him, you know, it'll kind of
train
be a
are they jumping
snowball.
onto, though?
Yeah, it'll kind of be a snowball effect, though. You know, if he starts to
I don't
face
trust
these
those
legal
people no matter what
ramifications, you
train
can't
they're
really
on.
stand by this guy that gets convicted for funneling
Right.
money into his
well,
charity.
you know, there was this thing that went viral recently of a guy on CNN saying that he was being interviewed by Anderson Cooper, and he said Anderson Cooper asked him, Do you believe that liberals had been eating the faces of babies and
Yeah,
drinking
I
their
read
blood?
about
and the
that,
guy
yeah.
said, Anderson, I believed that you were doing that, and I would like to apologize for believing that you ate babies.
Yeah. He thought he was an android that ate babies. That's what I read.
Yeah, it's true.
But the thing is, here's the scary thing, is that guy realized he was an idiot, but there's like thousands of other people that haven't realized that yet.
We know people
thought it was
that
an
have lost their
android?
fucking minds. I'm pretty sure you know someone who's lost their fucking mind.
I know people that are, you know,
A specific person that's lost their fucking
very
mind.
crazy, but,
Yeah.
you know.
They've fully bought into the conspiracy shit. That's the thing
I'll
that's
still
dangerous.
give them a hug if they need it, though.
Yeah, the thing that's dangerous, I think, is the conspiracies have become all co-opted by the alt-right. So watch out for them fucking lame-ass conspiracy bullshit. It's the new, the right can't meme, so it's got to make up some shitty conspiracies that are so ridiculous that people actually take notice.
Search for truth.
Well, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you for joining, Josh.
Josh.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, no
You're
problem. So,
welcome.
hey, wait. So, can you plug your SoundCloud and whatever?
Yeah, plug your music. We played his song at the beginning for you.
Yeah, and we'll play it out.
Yeah.
We're going to play it out for you.
Yeah, just check out my SoundCloud. It's just Reno. You know,
What is it? SoundCloud.com/Reno?
I don't really know.
Just Google.
Just go to SoundCloud
just go to
and type
SoundCloud,
in
type
Reno.
in Reno. My new song, Resolution.
We'll have a link for it in the description as well.
Yeah, we'll put all the links.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to try to find it yourself, you lazy bastard.
Yeah, guys, go listen to it if you like it. Share
Yep.
it. If not,
It'll be in the description. So thank you for coming and listening to the Brain and Moham show.
To you, angel. Tattoos in a blue halo. Black feathers, you can't stay long. I always knew that you would fly away to your haven, construct of your creation. I'll retire to my cave where I guess I'm just a soul that you can't save. I just wanna tell you how I feel, and I want you to tell me that it's real. Baby, goddamn, just hold my hand. From what I understand, it feels like the world is gonna end any day now. Holding back what we say, why? Should I take it to my grave? I don't need another ghost inside my